Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your prediction for the second half of 2026. It is a general collective reading, so as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. So before we get into tarot, I did a little astrology homework for you, so I'd like to get into that now, so you have a better understanding of this reading, but also what the second half of 2026 means for you. So this begins with the new moon in Cancer on July 14th, 2026. It will culminate with the full moon in Cancer on December 23rd, 2026. And for you, this will be a major turning point regarding your home, family, as well as your inner peace. Because these two lunations, if you will, the new moon and that full moon, will touch your 8th house of transformation, shared resources, and psychological depths, as well as your 4th house of home and ancestral roots. This period of time will be the universe's way to shift your focus from your usual pursuit of outward adventures towards a private sanctuary. So the period initiates for you a need for rest, reflection, healing, as well as some quiet shadow work. You may feel called to retreat from the spotlight or your everyday life just a bit, so you can process hidden vulnerabilities, restructure your household, or deal with deep-seated emotional truths. Some of you at this time may actually want to take a retreat. You might feel called, whether you've done that in the past or not, you might feel a call within to do a bit of a retreat for yourself. You will also be challenged to nurture yourself first, rather than focusing on nurturing the needs of other people around you. It's the universe's invitation to you to cultivate emotional independence, clear out some old emotional baggage, and establish a tangible foundation of emotional security for yourself moving forward. The full moon, which is a cold moon on December 23rd, will bring this highly emotional arc to an ultimate peak. So in December, you can expect major resolutions regarding family connections, any real estate moves or transactions you're doing, as well as emotional breakthrough that finally balances your fiery independence with your internal need now for emotional safety and belonging. I also wanted to look at the chart for you in regards to your connections. Again, because this cycle will deeply impact these two placements across all relationship dynamics for you, professional, platonic, or romantic, I thought it would be best if we looked into that. And what I found here was that you'll actually be shifting your focus from superficial connections to ones that are more like profoundly emotional, vulnerable, where you feel comfortable being vulnerable with the person or people, and they in turn feel comfortable being vulnerable to you as well. And because these two lunations will touch upon your 8th house of like intimacy, trust, shared assets, as well as your 4th house of foundations and belonging, your closest bonds will require more depth, clearer boundaries, and emotional accountability. And I broke this down for you, whether you are a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement. So if you are a Sagittarius Sun, in respect to professional relationships, you will learn how to share more control. And that means you will work on trusting your colleagues more with major projects instead of feeling the need to do everything yourself. For Sagittarius Sun, for your platonic connections, you will, and that's with friends and family members, you will feel less inclined to attend like surface level social gatherings. And instead, you're going to prefer more one-on-one, meaningful catch-ups instead. And in regards to your romantic relationships, if you're a Sagittarius Sun, you will be pushed to drop your guard. True freedom over the next 5 to 6 month period will come from you committing to emotional honesty and expecting or even demanding that from your connections. If you are a Sagittarius Moon, in regards to professional relationships, work dynamics might feel emotionally heavy, and you will need to protect your energy and establish firm boundaries with demanding coworkers, bosses, as well as your client base or customer base. In regards to your platonic relationships, if you're a Sag Moon, you will seek out friends who will feel like family, and you will strengthen bonds with family members. Again, for those where you're feeling more like I can be emotionally vulnerable with this person or people. If you currently have friends or family members where you're not feeling that you can comfortably be emotionally vulnerable with them, those connections will naturally fade out of your life, and instead you're going to seek people that you can be emotionally vulnerable with. This period will highlight for you who genuinely supports your emotional well-being and who doesn't. And in respect to romantic connections, if you're a Sag moon, your safety radar will be highly active. You will crave deep reassurances of loyalty and a partner who can actually hold space for your big feelings that you're now stepping into. If you are a Sagittarius rising, in respect to platonic connections, your professional alliances will be shifting. Expect to align with people who respect your need for long-term security rather than quick wins. In respect to platonic relationships, if you're a Sagittarius rising, old friendships that lack mutual support may naturally just fade out of your life to make room for more nurturing connections that are coming in. And in respect to romantic relationships, if you are a Sag rising, the lines between romance and domestic are going to be a bit blur. So you may take major steps like moving in together or redefining your relationship status or your long-term relationship goals. And if you are Sagittarius Venus placement, in regards to professional relationships, you might seek more of like financial collaborations, contract negotiations, and business partnerships are going to face a hard review. Joint ventures will require absolute transparency from here on out. So if you are collaborating with someone, and this could be anything, this could be like your mortgage company, your credit card company, it could be your boss. If you're a business owner, it could be negotiations in respect to contracts that you have with vendors. But it's almost like you're going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and make some adjustments. If you feel like the other entity involved is not being transparent with you, you will most likely seek to replace them as a boss or a client, or again, maybe you'll find a new mortgage lender, etc. In respect to platonic relationships, if you are Sagittarius Venus, you might find yourself hosting friends at home more often, bonding over shared meals and deep late night talks, and also exchanging mutual advice with one another. In respect to romantic relationships, if you're a Sagittarius Venus placement, you're going to feel this cycle more intensely than the other placements in regards to romance, because you will be confronting fears of intimacy. You're going to rewrite relationship patterns of the past, and you're going to seek a soulful, unbreakable bond. If your current connection does not have that, you will most likely end it, because you would rather be alone than be in a relationship where there's too much fluctuation in respect to where you are in the connection. So if you're a Sagittarius Venus placement and your partner is like non-committal, or you both can't decide on moving in together or having children, like big long-term goals for the relationship, you will most likely end the connection, because what you really want is an unbreakable bond with someone who shares your values. So with all of that said, now let's get into the cards for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I want to scroll back up to my notes here in case we need to reference them. Okay. For the second half of 2026, what can Sagittarius expect for the next 6 months of 2026? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have deep quiet, meditation, and stillness. I did say that about some of you retreating or pulling back, and that is card number 11. That's going to be a change for you to do that. And then you have Eye of the Needle, intentionality. This is looking very carefully at those professional, platonic, romantic connections in your life. Also seeking some new ones. And then you have Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. And this is that quiet, deep shadow work that you'll be doing. Card number 22. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Winter's Dream, gestation period. Oh my God. I'm laughing at that because, again, you might be in the southern hemisphere, but I'm in the northern hemisphere. So when I see Winter's Dream, for me, that's just like the culmination of this whole 5 to 6 month process for you until we get to that winter solstice there on December 23rd. So let's begin. Let's clarify this more, please, for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. we are clarifying card number 11, deep quiet, meditation and stillness. Card number 17, eye of the needle, intentionality. And card number 22, fool's embrace, transmuting pain, for the Sagittarius collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the 8 of Swords. We have the 7 of Cups. And we have the Strength card. In the bottom row, we have 2 of Cups. We have the 3 of Wands. And we have the Death card. And at the bottom of the deck is like underlying energy for this time period. We have 6 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. And that leaves the Phoenix to the Queen of Cups to the Empress. Wow, 8 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Let's clarify this now using the After Tarot deck. If you're not familiar with this deck, the images are slightly different. It does alter or change the meaning of the cards, and we'll go through them as necessary in your reading today. So for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements for the second half of 2026, we are clarifying 8 of Swords, 7 of Cups, Strength, 2 of Cups, 3 of Wands, and the Death card for the second half. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 8 of Swords is clarified by the 5 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is clarified by the Death card. The Strength card is clarified by the Page of Pentacles. The 2 of Cups is clarified by the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Wands is clarified by the Ace of Cups. And the Death card is clarified by the Devil. Bottom of the deck, we have the Sun. Love it. The Knight of Wands and the Star card. That leaves the 3 of Pentacles, the Moon, Page of Wands, 3 of Cups there at the bottom of the deck. Obviously, we're going to clarify this more, but I feel like the cards on the table already, especially with the intuitive messages I'm getting, I think this is exactly what I had just discussed would be occurring for you as this arc, if you will, from the new moon to the full moon touches your 8th house as well as your 4th house. So there definitely is something here of you taking a time out. And again, I don't think it's like you're quitting your job or you're taking a 3-month leave and you're going to travel the world. I mean, it could be for one of you watching, but I just feel like an emotional step back. Like I really need to review who I'm connecting with in my life, why I'm connecting with them. So it seems to be a little hermit energy here going on in regards to the connections in your life and you deciding which ones you want to heal and nurture, because in the After Tarot deck, the swords are out of the heart and the heart is bandage. So it's like deciding which ones you want to keep and heal and which ones you want to end. And it appears here that what you are detaching from is maybe a pattern that you had of staying in connections for either superficial reasons or longer than you should have because of other commitments. It looks like you're moving on from that. So maybe that was a pattern for some of you watching, like I'm committed to this person. They're my sibling, right? And they're come hell or high water, they're family. And what you might realize as you are looking more carefully at that relationship, you might realize this person is very toxic. And even though they're my sibling and I wish them well and I love them, it doesn't mean I have to allow their toxicity into my life. And so maybe that was a pattern there for you, or it could be with a romantic partner. It could be with a boss, you know. I don't know who this person or people, maybe for some of you, it's a couple of people, but I do see you breaking away from this habit. And I see that because in the After Tarot deck, the Devil card, the people are not shackled. Typically, we see two individuals shackled to one another, or the podium that the devil presides over, right? The image depiction is a bit different depending on what deck we're using. But in the After Tarot deck, they're freed. So I feel like any toxic connections you had, again, maybe they are toxic, but I feel more like the pattern here was toxic within you. Like I have to stay connected to this person for blank, no matter how much they injure me, or no matter how much I can't be emotionally vulnerable with them, but I'm going to keep them in my life anyway. I feel like that's what's changing, what's being healed. So in the process, I do think that you are letting go of at least one person here in the second half of 2026, but then I see new connections coming in as well. So let's begin to clarify. Clarify the 8 of Swords. And I feel like your timeout period here, if we look at the After Tarot deck, the 5 in the 5 of Cups, the 3 cups that are spilled, the individual here actually is not looking at those 3 cups. They're not pining over them. Instead, they're looking at the new set of 2 of Cups. And then here we have Two of Cups with a heart that is healed. So I almost feel like this is the back and forth. This is where you're having that deep, quiet stillness within you and going within and saying, do I want to pursue new connections? Or do I want to continue attempting to heal these connections? So let's clarify, make sure your deck is right side up. It is. Clarify that Eight of Swords, please. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Eight of Swords is clarified by the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles. So again, this could be friends, family members, lovers. You take this how it resonates to you. But you are very much up in your head about whether or not you want to continue giving, Six of Pentacles, to these connections where you're starting to feel like you have outgrown them. You're no longer on the same emotional or vibrational wavelength as them. Clarify this further, please. Clarify this Five of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Clarified by the Page of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Wheel of Fortune. That's exactly what it is. Bottom of the deck, Four of Wands. So Four of Wands, Eight of Cups. So I just see you here going back and forth, probably in July, maybe even August, going back and forth. A lot of meditation about whether or not you want to continue giving to these types of connections where you're just not feeling emotionally, it's like this person or people are not as emotionally invested in you as you are in them. And you're realizing it's quite the energy drain. And you're also at this time craving more and more deeper, emotional connection. So as that begins to shift in you, you're naturally going to look around at the people that you interact with all the time. And again, it could be colleagues. And you're realizing there's such a disconnect here. So let's clarify the Two of Cups. Clarify the Two of Cups. So it's almost like, again, High Priestess going within. Do I want to do another cycle here at this job? Like, do I want to do another year at this job? Do I want to continue connecting to this person, whoever they are? Clarify the Two of Cups. Or do I just want to maybe leave this behind and connect with new people? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Two of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Seven of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Queen of Wands. So there's a little bit of a withdrawal here from you, from connections that are currently in your life. Like you're not engaging with them as much as you used to, or you're not as nurturing with them like you used to be. And it's almost like until I have absolute clarity about whether or not I'm going to continue in this particular connection or move on from it, instead I need to kind of take a step back and assess. So it's not completely quitting the job, like instantly. It's not like tomorrow morning you wake up and you're like, I'm effing out of here. It's not, you block everyone on your phone or you break up with your partner. It's, I'm just going to take a little step back and nurture myself until I meditate, right, in stillness, in deep quiet, and figure out what I'm going to do with this person or these people. Clarify that Three of Swords, which again in the After Tarot deck is healed. And I think that's what you're trying to figure out here is, do I want to continue trying to heal a connection that at its core is broken? Because again, you're changing. And so you're naturally and very organically feeling a disconnection. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Three of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Two of Wands. So before you make a decision, you are going to go within. Because this person or these people mean a lot to you. You either have known them for a long time or you have shared resources with them. Or again, could be a vendor, right? If you're a business owner, but you will be making a decision and you're the one making the decision on whether or not you will continue investing in the connection or if you are moving on from it. If you've seen my readings before, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome anyway. Please click like, share, comment, subscribe. But for me, Queens exist in the present. They exist in the today. They're processing what's happening in the here and now. And they're also looking back. And Kings take action. And I have you here in Queen of Wands looking at all of these various connections, realizing how much the dynamic in them has changed, how much you have changed. And then you're stepping into the role of the King of Wands saying, this is my decision now. regardless of what they want. It's my decision if I want to continue interacting or engaging. And so with that Four of Swords, I think you're taking a time out here from connections. I can see you emotionally pulling back a bit until you decide if you want to continue it or not. So Seven of Cups to the Death card, there is an ending to confusion here when it comes to, again, this person or these people. Clarify the Seven of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Emperor. Bottom of the deck, the Moon. So what you're not seeing right now is there is at least one connection here in your life that you are going to move on from. It's whatever connection comes to your mind right now that you are deeply confused about. You don't know if you want to continue talking to this person, or they're inconsistent, or they leave you confused. And again, it could be an ex, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be your current lover, but your boss, you know. And if you're a business owner, it could be a vendor that you have, or maybe even your client base. There might be a portion of your client base that you don't want to engage with anymore. So take it how it resonates to you. But at the time of this reading, you're already Seven of Cups confused over whether or not you want to continue engaging with them. And it looks like, again, kings take action. You step into the role here of the King of all kings and that Emperor energy. Three of Swords to the Knight of Swords. This is you communicating that you no longer want to engage in that particular connection. Clarify the Death card. And in the After Tarot deck, the Death card is like done. It's not a rebirth. There's no possibility of going back because it's your intention to close out this connection. You're seeing it very clearly. So this is the absolute, I'm moving on from this job. This is the absolute, I'm getting a divorce. This is the absolute, I'm breaking up with this person. This is the absolute, I don't want to connect to this person anymore. Or I don't want to use this vendor for my business. Like you are for certain here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Death card is clarified by the Nine of Cups, the Tower, and the Two of Swords. And in the After Tarot deck, the Two of Swords, the decision is made. Five of Wands, no one's fighting here. And Nine of Pentacles, it's single, free, and independent. King of Cups is dumping out the cup. So you're very clear here that you will no longer engage with this person or these people because you're realizing, I just keep giving and giving and giving, and I'm not getting anything back. I give love, or I give time, I give talent, I give cooperation, and I'm not getting back what I should be getting back. And so your decision here seems to be absolute over the course of the next 6 months that you are moving on from whomever or whatever this is. And for some of you, this decision will be final in Scorpio season. Three of Wands. For others of you, it'll be beforehand. Three of Wands. And here we move forward. Now we move forward towards new connections. Connections that now have emotional depth to them. So now you're looking for the new job. Or like I said, the new vendor. Like once you make your decision, I'm done with blank, then you're going to start seeking a replacement for it, if you will. Clarify the Three of Wands. I was told not to take it. Three of Wands. And look, it's possible for some of you, if you're a little bit more ahead of the Sagittarius collective, you might have just done this in the first half of the year. And so in that respect, this would be the new now that is coming in the second half. So I don't know where you are on the Sagittarius collective, but I do have new here on the table. There's no doubt about that. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Three of Wands is clarified by the Seven of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Clarify the Ace of Cups. One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Cups is clarified by Seven of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands. So there's a little changing of the guard here, if you will. And whoever you're leaving behind is not pleased that you are disconnecting from them, or you're putting up some real, if this is an ex, you're putting up some really heavy boundaries. This would be like a Sagittarius where you have already separated from this person, but let's say you have one kid with them. This would be like, do not call me unless there is an emergency that concerns the child. We don't need to talk about what you're doing, what's going on. If it does not pertain to the child, you and I have no reason to communicate. That would be a very hard boundary. So if it's an ex, I can see it playing out that way, or someone who's soon to be an ex, but you still have a child with them. There could be something like that here involved. Like, do not contact me unless it has to do with the child. Or do not contact me unless it has to do with a divorce. There's something like that here playing out for some of you. So where it's an ex or a soon to be ex, but you still have some like clearing up of debris, if you will, with them, like maybe in terms of a legal thing, or maybe like you're splitting assets. I can see you putting up that hard boundary. If this is an ex or soon to be ex and you have children connected, I can see you putting up the hard boundary that unless this is pertaining to the child, you can't randomly stop at the house or call or text me like, I'm not available. There's a reason why you're an ex or you're a soon to be ex. It seems to be pretty hard like that. It's almost like, don't contact me, I'll contact you unless it's an emergency. Now, for those of you where this is not an ex or soon to be ex, where you have anything that in connection with them in regards to children or finances, then I just see the person putting up a bit of a stink. So when you go to give your 2 weeks notice at work, I would expect a pretty cutting comment from them about your departure. I don't think they're asking you to stay. There seems to be a little shiv on your way out. If it's a friend or family member, they're pretty nasty here. So I don't know who the Hierophant is to you. Someone that has been in your life, has been a staple in your life for quite some time. It looks like when you go to cut them out in that Seven of Swords to the Queen of Swords, there's a verbal lashing out, and it could even be a romantic partner. Like, you're never going to meet anyone as good as me. Yeah, I hope not. That's why you're becoming an ex. No offense if you're the cross watcher watching. So I just see you here dumping out a cup with someone here that it's been in your life for a while, because you're no longer emotionally fulfilled. Therefore, you no longer want to emotionally invest in them. And instead, you're looking towards the new. I mean, the Queen of Cups is literally lifting the lid off the chalice and is like, I want new. So there's a changing of the guard here, and someone who's got some unkind words for you on your way out the door. And in the After Tarot deck, the Seven of Cups, are leaving 6 cups on the shelf, and we're going for the Ace of Cups. So that's what I mean, where there's like a changing of the guard, even if it's not immediate. Like, I'm not saying you're going to break up with someone on a Friday and Saturday you meet the new person. But your goal here is to eventually meet a new person, you know? So whenever you're giving your walking papers, if you will, you're giving it to them, or you're ending the connection here, there seems to be some cutting words from this person. I'm going to pull some extra cards for you because I see them trying to cross your boundaries. When you tell them, like, this is done, this is over with, again, there's something verbal here. We'll get back to that in a second. Strength of the Page of Pentacles. I feel like you will be strong enough to move towards a new opportunity, and one does come in. So if you're breaking up with someone in July or August, you're meeting someone new by the end of the year. Like, there's no doubt about this. And if you're deciding to leave a job, as long as you make it your second job to find another job, you have another boss here, and that's why you're able to give this company your notice. So there's a replacement here at play. And if you're a single Sag and you're like, I don't have an ex that I have any dealings with, and I'm okay with my job, there's most likely a friend or family member here that you're severing ties with. And then there's a new friend or friend group that you will be connecting with. There's definitely someone here leaving your life, and it's your choice. It's your choice to walk away from them. Strength. Clarify the Strength card. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Strength is clarified by Queen of Wands. The World card. I'm telling you, it's your decision. And Temperance, Sagittarius, is your energy as well. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. We are leaving behind connections that they were the Three of Cups at some point in time. There was unity or happiness or collaboration, shared memories. You know, there's some nostalgia there in a Three of Cups as we're leaving it. But there's also a clear acknowledgement of it never became the Ten of Cups. And if it did, it was very short-lived. So you're exchanging the Three of Cups for the Ten of Cups. And again, these connections may have had something superficial, Ten of Pentacles, that kept you connected to them. But now you're looking for connections that deeply resonate with you. And you seem to be quite comfortable here, moving on from the ones that don't. Clarify the Page of Pentacles. It's almost like, I have to do this. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Pentacles is clarified by judgment. Two of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. You're moving on from someone, Empress, and you're choosing to nurture yourself until you connect with this new person or new people. You're looking for people at a higher emotional vibration than the one or ones you are leaving behind. So again, we have the Death card here. So this seems to be an absolute decision. Clarify that Death card. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Death card is clarified by judgment. Shows itself again. The Two of Swords and the King of Wands. You're making this decision again. Ten of Pentacles. You're looking for Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. I want something that is solid, but it also has to be emotionally fulfilling. If it's solid in terms of pentacle resources, but I feel emotionally unfulfilled, it's not solid enough for me anymore. Maybe in the past you would have settled for that. Not moving forward. Clarify that Devil. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Devil is clarified by the Lovers, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands. There's someone new here on your path, energetically. And I'm going to pull cards for you on this person as well. Now, I have to throw this out there for one of you. I'm not predicting an immediate sudden death here. I'm not that type of tarot reader. But if at the time of this reading, you are caring for someone and they are terminally ill, the cards indicate that they are passing away over the course of the next 6 months. Again, if you know that the person you're caring for, your parent, your grandparent, your spouse, something like that, it does appear here that they're most likely passing away. And as sad as you are at the loss, there's a relief here also. There's a relief that now you can finally get back to living. And you might feel a little guilty about feeling that way in that Seven of Swords energy. So, and other people around you might feel like you're moving on too quickly. Mom and dad died and you're relocating, you know, something like that. Or our grandparents died and you're going on vacation. But as the caretaker, their illness has become your life. So there's something like you're going to move on very quickly from this, and people around you may not understand that, but you lost a part of your life while you were caring for this person. Same thing if it's a spouse. I'm not saying your spouse passes away one day and you're in a relationship the next, but there is a freeing feeling here for those of you where you are experiencing that. And again, some people around you might not understand it, and you may decide to cut ties with them as well, because they just don't understand how much you sacrificed while you were caring for that person or those people, and how much of your time you lost. And it looks like you're quickly moving on. Again, I don't think you're moving into another connection very quickly, like if this is a spouse, but this seems to be, I need to get on with my life. This is definitely the energy of, I need to get on with my life. I stay too stuck in this, whether the person's passing away or not. And again, I'm not predicting death, but there is something here if this person is already terminally ill. I wanted to get you 3 cards for those of you about these cutting words that this person has to say to you. It's almost like after everything that I did, you know, it's like the boss when you give them your notice and they're like, I knew I should have fired you last year or something. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't. Like there's no reason for this at the end. Or good luck finding someone as good as me. Oh, okay. Thank you. It's a friend or family member that's trying to guilt you on the way after everything that I did. So 3 cards here, please, for what this person has to say to Sagittarius as they're exiting. And again, same thing for those of you where someone you're caring for at the time of this reading ends up passing away, and then you book a vacation or you're putting the house up for sale. These would be people that don't agree that you're doing that. And you're like, you know what? This is my next chapter. And if you can't support me, you're out. So they too would have cutting words for you. So 3 cards here on the cutting words. One more shuffle. Thank you. The cutting words, the Devil. I told you. It's the person or people that you're cutting out of your life. The Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. After everything that I did for you, after all this time, Two of Pentacles could be time management. Again, there's a little guilt here, but it's to make you feel bad. After all this time, oh, they just passed away and you're already in another relationship, or you're selling the house. How dare you? How dare you, Sagittarius, actually want to be emotionally content and happy? I gotta see what's behind that Ace of Swords. No, no, just no. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Further clarify this to Chariot, the Moon, and the Seven of Wands. Again, Five of Pentacles. After everything we've been through, after everything I did for you, after everything they did for you, there's also some reference here to your emotional instability. I'm not saying you're emotionally unstable. I'm saying this person might say that, like you're crazy, or you're out of your mind, or something like that. Devil to the Ace of Swords, devil to that, the Queen of Swords. We've got the devil here again. And I think for you, I mean, this is preceding that World card. So it's like you're telling them it's over, you're giving them notice, or you're moving on, whatever. And they say this. And then we went immediately into the Queen of Wands to the World card. So it's almost like now you're thinking about this and you're like, I'm doing the right thing. And literally, Judgment card, Two of Pentacles, turning your back to them, moving towards newer connections. And even that Three of Wands, you're like, see ya. So I just feel like whatever they say on your exit further confirms for you that it's the best decision for you to move on from them. I also want to get 3 cards for the new. I feel like this sort of overshadowed that part of the reading for you, because I see a new offer here coming in, and the Knight of Pentacles in the After Tarot deck is on the move. So, and I see you making the choice, lovers, when this offer comes in, to work, 8 of Pentacles, on this connection. So can I have 3 cards on the new soulmate coming in? One more shuffle. Thank you. The new soulmate. 9 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and the 6 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands. To the Magician. This is almost like dream come true energy. I just got a bunch of chills on this one. It's like after everything that I've been through, here's this offer. Knight of Pentacles again. Could be an earth sign, doesn't have to be. Also have Gemini and Virgo here. This is you feeling like, yes, I want to work for you. Yes, I want to go out on a date. Tell me more about the new. One more shuffle. Thank you. I don't know why I'm getting dream come true energy here. Knight of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Cups. There you go. It's dream come true energy. The 5 of Pentacles in the After Tarot deck, we are coming out of a state of emotional or financial lack. You got a big old bag of coin here. And these 2 people are shivering outside, and you're like, hey, all you got to do is go in there and get help. So this is when you exit this. The Knight of Swords is when you verbally tell this person or people you're done here. Look what comes in, this beautiful new connection. Even the 6 of Pentacles, you're moving on from someone who is breadcrumbing you, not paying you enough, not emotionally invested in you, not supportive of your new, path in life. So in the 6 of Pentacles in the After Tarot deck, you're walking away from that person or people. And what comes in? The Emperor. Can't make it up. There it is. The new boss, the new romantic partner. I don't read body parts. The new landlord. I don't know who you're leaving behind here, but you're leaving someone behind. 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. That 3 of Cups person or people that you held on to, you're dropping those burdens. And in the After Tarot deck, the 4 of Pentacles is met with the Death card. We have Scorpionic energy here. So the connection that you were holding on to that became too burdensome because it was no longer as emotionally fulfilling as you need it to be, because you're leveling up, emotionally speaking, you're moving on, and you're planting a new seed here. 8 of Cups. And look, these people have this person or people have something to say to you, because you're here in the red coat and you're moving on from them. And here they are still looking at these 8 Cups. 6 of Cups, this person from the past. 9 of Swords. Magician, 7 of Swords. I mean, they have some nasty things to say to you on the way out, but I don't think you're going to allow it to trip you up. I think you're going to keep moving forward. Let's get you some Moonology cards here, and we'll close it out with some Oracle cards. Can we get a Moonology card here, please, for Sagittarius? So, yeah, you're closing at least one toxic connection, moving towards a new one, almost on the heels. Freedom is here. Emotional vulnerability is here. I mean, look what you're leaving. The High Priestess, the Five of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. There's no emotion here. There's loss. And you are intuitively being led to move on from that connection. And look what you're moving towards. The Sun, the Knight of Wands, and the Star. Excitement, adventure, healing, emotional healing, happiness. Ten of Pentacles, but that Ten of Cups also. That connection was no longer giving you, or maybe never did. Moonology card here, please, for Sag. One more shuffle. Thank you. Nothing will come of the situation. Void of course, Moon. Interesting. Scorpio had the same card. And I had said to them, I'll give you the same message that I gave them. If you don't do anything about this connection, nothing will come of this situation. You're not going to meet the new person. And you're going to wake up on December 23rd. And you're still going to be trapped in that. So if you allow their cutting words or guilt to stop you from moving on to the next step here, then this sort of falls away or is delayed. So as always, you have the divine gift of free will. When you get to that Wheel of Fortune, which most of you are in this state now, trying to decide whether or not you want to move forward with this connection, if you choose to continue engaging, you will have the same outcome 5 to 6 months from now. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And this requires you to step out of a comfort zone to close off this connection. At the bottom of the deck, a new cycle begins. You can't make it up. If you do nothing, nothing comes of this situation. Void of course, Moon. If you want to move on, a new cycle begins. New Moon in Libra. Libra is the house of partnerships, contract, marriage, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic. So the new comes in when you leave this. If you choose to stay, just know that you're doing so, and nothing will change here. Let's get you 3 Oracle cards here. And what's behind that gestation period? Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. I did say that you would be doing that as well. Again, with that meditation, stillness. So this seems to be a big decision. Take your time. But I feel like some of you watching, you've already walked away from this person. In that respect, I think you have a very lovely new soulmate on path here. Just as I said that, all those cards, it comes in like a bang, like a bang. So you don't even, it's almost like when you're not looking, you bump into this person or you connect with them. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Flying. Follow your dreams and transcend self-imposed limitations. Little fool card energy for you. Vision. Look to the future with foresight. Make a wise choice. Stay or go. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And then you have safety. Feel protected and stable, grounded in security, no matter what life brings. This is where you're currently at. You're in the Six of Swords. And even in this deck, the Six of Swords is not very calm. It's not the Five of Swords, but these waters are about to overtake this boat. So you can continue to stay anchored here, because here you are again in the boat, or you can go to the lighthouse. And the lighthouse is your safety. It's this new person. I feel like they're energetically now just waiting for you to come towards them. At the bottom of the deck, you have embrace your truth, accept your true self, loving yourself and others unconditionally. And that unconditional love needs to be a two-way street. And if you're not receiving it from this professional, platonic, or romantic soulmate, then it's time for you to move towards a professional, platonic, or romantic soulmate who will offer you that unconditional, deep, emotionally bonding love that you're craving. That is what I have for you for the second half of 2026. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And between now and then, we have a couple of astrological occurrences that are happening. So I'm going to do additional readings for all 12 zodiac signs, and I'll post them on Patreon. I love the community there. It's a little smaller. I started it within the last month. Enables me to interact with people a little bit more on a one-on-one because I'm not inundated with like 200,000 messages all the time. So if you want to join me there, there's information, or join us there, I should say, because it's quite the nice group we have. But if you want to join us there, you're welcome to do that. Information on how to do that is in the description box, as well as the pinned comment below. But if you can't do that, or you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Trust the source already knew that, and you received all the information you need for the second half of 2026. And so I read for you again. I am wishing you light, love, and peace.